La 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 live. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Did you go to church? Did you get some worship in? Did you confess your sins of the past week? You know, start fresh for this new week. Hi, everybody. How are you? It's been a while. So, I came back from vacation and I started working. And man, I tell you, it's been rough. Hi, Kamisha. Hi. Thanks for joining. It's been rough. Like going back to work, it's just taking up all my energy, all my mind space. It's a lot. And so I haven't had a chance to jump on to say hi to y'all and tell you what's going on. Um, Thank you for joining. I know it's always good, when others can share their business, their problems, and their issues. And so you don't have to. When somebody else is sharing, you don't have to. And so I thank you. Thank you for jumping on. So today I am super excited because I have my first guest. Confetti. Yes, I do have my first guest and they'll be joining soon. But how has your Sunday been? How's the new year treating you? Is it, new year, same old you? Is it new year, new problems? Is it new year, new bills? Like me, I got new bills. New year, new bills. Is it new year, new mindset, new year, new focus, new goals? What is it? Tell me, let me know what's going on. Did we cook? Did we cook our Sunday dinner? So this week we did not go Jamaican. Mm, we went American, like for real American. And we did broccoli. Ooh, we did potatoes. We did salmon. Oh, we did carrots and a salad. Oh, real American for you. Real healthy. And to get those pounds going down or steady and not climbing. So, what did y'all make? Did y'all make rice and beans? Hey, Kimbo, what did you make? Did you cook? What did you do? What did you do? So, you guys should tell me what you have been making. I'm trying to see if we are doing the right thing because we are all in this learning thing together. So, I'm trying to see if my guest is on. She's messaging me right now. I don't know why. Are you live? You have to join the live. Are you on the live? Let me see if I see you. I don't see you on the live. New year, it's a blessing, trusting God's lead. Yeah, we have to. Because without us trusting God, it's just pointless. And we're just going around in circles and going around crazy. So I don't see you online. So you have to join the actual live on Facebook. So hopefully we'll be able to figure this out. But tell me what's going on. I hear from Kamisha. Nice to hear from you. Hey Kimbo. There you are. Praise God. I see you, but Do you see the request to join? We are all Facebook dummies, and we're trying to work it out. Do you see the option to request to join now? I do see you. But today, my friend April, she came over and we had fun. We had fun. Well, we had fun watching movies, talking, just seeing Isaiah's antics. Isaiah is my son. He is 6 years old and he is a ball of energy that I do not have. He has energy to last for years to come. And I do not have that energy. I wake up and I pray to God to give me the same energy. I'm seeing the option for the other people who are watching, but I don't see the option for you. You want to log off, you want to jump off and then jump back on? Because I see the option to bring them on camera, but I'm not seeing it for you. Type something out. It says Renee is watching. I see Renee. I see Kamisha and I see Kimbo. But I don't see where it says Miss B is watching. I don't see that part. Oh, I'll try to. Okay, yeah, do that. Because I don't see the option to bring you on either. But hey, Renee, thanks for joining. We were asking about our Sunday dinner. Did you make Jamaican? I was telling them I made American food today. And we're trying to get the guests logged on. And so, did y'all go to church? I did virtual today as well. I did TD Jakes today. I think I'm a member of the Potter's House, but unofficially. I haven't joined because I don't know why I haven't joined. I'm still hoping to go back physically every single week, but I haven't joined any other online churches yet. So I don't know. Did y'all go to church? Renee, Kimbo, Kamisha, did y'all go to church today? Like I was saying, my friend April, she came over today and we were just hanging out and talking and watching TV. Have y'all seen the very, very old movie, My Fair Lady? Listen, that movie is very long, but it's good. It's a good old movie. And I would recommend it to you. I would. I went to church. Ooh, fried fish and fried. Oh my gosh. Fried fish and fried chicken. Man, I would love some of that fried chicken and fried fish. But my stomach would say otherwise because it's starting to it's starting to say, girl, you need to get up and do some sit-ups. I haven't done any kind of exercise in several months. I do not have the time for. I have time sometimes, but I choose not to do it. I'm just not in the mood. So I'm waiting to see if Little Miss B will jump back on. But so we are talking about our relationships, and just a few episodes ago, I talked to you guys about forgiveness when we were talking about forgiveness. And, as the Lord would have it, I had the opportunity to forgive somebody new for a new offense because I don't think other people realize that words words have power, and just as we expect other people to be careful with their words to us, we have to be careful with our words to other people. Like when we're talking to other people, you can't just say everything that comes to your mind because some of it is going to be hurtful. And so like I said, I had the opportunity to forgive somebody else for a new offense. And this time, it involved my son. So somebody once told me that when it comes to my son, I go crazy, and that's it's pretty much true. Like you can say anything you want about me or whatever. Don't be talking about my son though, because I'm gonna get crazy. So um, I don't know. How do you guys feel about trying to make the peace with somebody, and it's supposed to be somebody in your family or somebody that's close to you, that you're in close relationship with or have had close relationship with? You have to make the peace even when they are not mature enough to meet you halfway or to acknowledge their part of the disagreement. They're not um, willing or at a space to acknowledge that I did something wrong. And so, even though my response was not, it was, I don't think, yeah, there you are. I don't think my response was, ooh, I don't think my response was, it wasn't well thought out. And so I did respond maybe from the flesh, but I did add some God. I did add the name of God in the response. But I won't tell you right away what it was or how it happened, but I will tell you that I did say to that person that they do need Jesus. I told them that you need Jesus and you need to go get some therapy, because you have a lot of darkness surrounding you and your heart. So you need to go get some therapy. And then I blocked them. You know, the good old block. You don't want to continue the conversation. And so you block the person. And as a matter of fact, the person also blocked me. So it's just block, block for block. We just gotta do it. Oh, let's see if we can. Whew, let's see if we can do this thing. Oh my God, this is a lot of technical work that I did not study for. I did not go to that class and I did not take that exam, nor did I read the Cliff Notes. So we're trying to add the guest. We're trying to add the guest, but we are both having challenges. So so let's try to see how best we can work it out. So right now, like I said, I'm working on forgiveness. It's like each time I forgive somebody, um, and these two people, it seems like every time I forgive them and I make space for them to come back into my life or make space for them to be a part of my son's journey or my journey, they do something else foul for me to have to forgive them again. So I had posted that just because you're thirsty doesn't mean that you should drink poison. And I think I've been doing that. Like I've been reconnecting with toxic people, and I have not been looking at how much it's affecting me and how much it's taking from my heart. And I don't know. Have you guys been experiencing that where you've had to be forgiving the same people over and over again? Like it's a new offense every 3 months or whatever. And every time you make room for them to, come into your space again, they do something new. Those are people that in psychology you call unsafe people. They're not safe to be in your space. And so I think I am getting it now where I just have to accept I cannot keep allowing these unsafe people to be in my space. And especially since I have a son, like if I have a son and I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to move, I cannot keep adding these unsafe people in my life or keep, asking them to come back in for whatever sake. So I have been reading the book on forgiveness, like that Desmond Tutu book, book on forgiving. I did listen to that one. So good. So good. You need to check that one out. Um, but sometimes you have to make amends and then release. Praise God. You have to release some people. Like there just comes a point in time where you have to release some people. You can accept their apology. You can apologize for your own part in whatever happened, but you just have to release sometimes because you cannot reconnect, or you cannot, what is that word, that R word, but it's not safe to get back or reclaim that relationship. It's not safe. And so that's where I'm at right now, just trying to release somebody else who is not safe. And like I said, each time I give them an opportunity to come in, reconcile. Thank you. You cannot reconcile. And so sometimes you just have to, work it out. Sometimes they're not going to be sorry. Sometimes the people who hurt you are not going to say sorry. They're not going to be sorry. They're not going to feel remorseful. And so you're not going to get that apology that you're looking for. So if you're wanting an apology to move on or to heal, sometimes you're just not gonna get it. And so you cannot reconcile. And so you have to just release that person, not with any ill will or, any hard feelings. You're just releasing them because a relationship with that person right now is not in your best interest. And so each time we try to connect this thing, you have we. Why does it say they can't join? Oh my gosh, why is this thing acting up? Oh my god, what? This is not good. Okay. I don't know what that is. It keeps saying connection failed. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Is there another way? I didn't want to do the other way. And so these are the technical difficulties of going live. Yay. Okay, so I'll just keep talking. I have read all of the book on forgiving. Um Desmond Tutu and his daughter. I am not going to try to pronounce her name. It's like an African name. and I do not want to look more foolish. So I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, but she helped to write the book with him, and it was the audio book that I checked out. And it talked a lot, not just about forgiving, but also you having the need to be forgiven. Because sometimes, like I said, we are so conscious of what everybody else has done, but we do not see what we have done. Like the blinders are on, and we do not want to hear what anybody else has to say. But we have to be at a place where we know that we also have done people wrong. We have said things out of character, we have done things to hurt somebody's feelings. And so we have to be at a place where we say, okay, um, you have to be at a mature place to be able to recognize when you have harmed somebody else. Because if you keep walking around like, oh, I'm the perfect thing that God, put on this planet, and I do all things right, that's just farce. Like, no, you have done things wrong to other people as well. And so when you have come to that space where you can acknowledge, I have done, some wrong, there are steps that you have to take. You have to apologize. Like, you have to make amends to say, this is what happened. Do not make excuses for what happened. Do not make excuses to say, oh, it's because you did this, why I did this, because that never works in relationships. And I have experienced that firsthand. You cannot solve a conflict by saying, oh, I did this because you did that. No, you have to take responsibility for your part and then apologize for that part. See in what ways you can make amends, and then, like I said, if you're going to reconcile, you reconcile. If not, you release and you move on with your life. Den says it's buffering. I don't know what's going on. So I keep getting the requests, and I keep approving. It can only be visible to the people in the audience. I don't even know what that means. It says the person you invited needs to download the latest version of Facebook to join this live video room. You ain't got the latest version. I don't know. Mine, I don't download versions of anything. It says the person you invited needs to download the latest version. You need to download the latest version. That 2020 version ain't gonna work on this one. Oh my God. What did you have for dinner, Dan? Denisha, JTS crew in the building. JTS in the building. Yeah, we need to you need to download the thing and you need to come back on, because I'm not sure what version you are using, but they said it's not the right one. Oh my God. So, talking about forgiveness and apologizing, I am like, is it David? I'm like David in some ways, not always. Chasing after God's heart. But one thing I know how to do is repent, right? So, and that was what I did in my relationship when I did something wrong. And I would go back to my ex-husband and I'd say, hey, I'm sorry I did this. And I'm sorry and whatever. And then you know what his response would be? Well, you need to stop doing things that you're sorry about. stop doing things you're sorry about. I'm sorry. Is this not the human race? Are we not all on the same human journey where we're supposed to make mistakes and, apologize and move on? But when you're in a space where people are not able to see their own faults and, accept when somebody else is apologizing, and I've had that said to me recently by somebody else too, like, oh, don't apologize because you're not sorry. Okay. Okay, so those people I cannot continue to be in a space with those kinds of people. Because if I'm saying I'm sorry for something and I'm hoping that, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing over and over, you should be able to be at a place maturity wise to say, okay, she seems genuine, in her apology. And so I'll accept, we'll move on, and hopefully she'll not do the same thing over and over. But then if that person is like, oh, no, I'm not accepting your apology because you should not be doing wrong. Okay, I'm sorry, God. You know, I'll try not to do any more wrongs on this earth. And if that person is not mature enough to be open and accept, your offering of wrongdoing or whatever you want to call it, then that's not a space that both of you can grow in. I don't think that's a space that both people can grow in when one person thinks that, oh, I am above you, or um, I don't see any wrong that I have done, and you are the only one who is doing wrong in the relationship. And that kind of choked me. That was kind of choking me out. Like, am I that evil? Like, am I that wicked? I'm the only one doing wrong in this relationship? How is that even possible? Is that even a thing, like a real thing? There's no relationship where one person is the villain and one person is the victim at all times. We have all been at the space where we've done something wrong, said something wrong, and we need forgiveness, and vice versa. So nobody's at the space where they've never done anything wrong. So that's the book, Unforgiven. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And it shares some very, very deep stories that make you think. It really, really makes you think. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching. It's like I said, the journey continues, the journey of healing, the journey of forgiveness. And yeah, they're self righteous. And then guess what? 2 months later, you're still married. Yeah, it's coming out. 2 months later, you're still married and you're having a baby with somebody else. That's the self righteous person who never did anything wrong. And now you're the one having a baby with somebody else and you're still married. Go figure. So, yeah, check the book out. And the journey to becoming a better you, it has to start. It cannot stop at just, oh, I'm comfortable here, or I feel like I've accomplished a lot. No, for me, how ironic, my love, how ironic. So for me, I had to I had to get up. I had to realize that this person does not have my best interest at heart. And that's what it's all about. Does your best friend, does your husband, does your wife, does your sister, your mother, your friend, whoever, do they have your best interest at heart? And do you see that playing out even in the mistakes that they make, even in, the challenges that you face in your relationship, but do you see them coming back? Do you see them being repentant? And like I said, somebody who is not repentant, that self-righteous person who's not repentant, only God can help them. You cannot force people to a place that they don't want to go. You can force people to a place that they're not mature enough to go. They don't have the capacity to go to. You cannot force them. And so you have to decide, are you going to keep spinning around like a crazy person? Because I was just on this crazy wheel because I thought, man, I keep doing all these things wrong, and I'm the reason for all these problems in this relationship. It's the ego. It's the ego. You cannot win, right, Kamisha? You cannot win. And when that person's ego is bigger than their capacity to be humble or their capacity to see their own wrongdoing, there's no place for you there. You cannot win right there. And I'm at the spot where, like I said on my Facebook group, divorce does not have to leave you bitter. It does not have to leave you broke, busted, disgusted. If your friend leaves, if your friend, stops calling, you're calling them, they're not returning your calls, or you're on the phone with them and all they want to do is talk about themselves and their own problems and, hey, this is what's going on. Like, there's no room for you. There's no room for you. And so if that keeps happening and you're at that space, like, you don't have to walk away feeling like, oh man, I am the worst human being ever. Because that's how they make you want to feel. Like, oh, I am the worst person. Like, I've made so many mistakes. I didn't live up to either my vows or my promises. I didn't live up to, what I set out to do. I didn't live up to my own expectations. And they will make you feel as if, like, you have failed, like you are a failure. But that is not so. That is not so. You are not a failure. Like, this relationship might have failed. And TD, like I said, TD Jakes, he be preaching. Y'all need to check him out. And he said, like, if somebody can walk out of your life, he said that today. If somebody can walk out of your life, let them. Let them go. Somebody walking out of your life, it sometimes is them doing you a favor. It's like them blessing you, right? So let them go. Like, if people are quick to, oh, this is not working and this friendship and this and that, bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. Like he said, you're going to cry. You're going to cry. You're going to feel sad. But guess what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to show you that you did not limit me. Like, you coming out of my life, you leaving is not going to be where I stay. I'm not going to be stuck. I'm not going to keep listening to the same songs over and over, the same old love song. No, I'm not going to keep playing the same love songs. No, I'm going to put some Rihanna on or somebody else, but not the same ones. So, Jesus, Lord, let this thing go through. Girl, you need to so you have the latest version now. So hopefully, hopefully you can jump on and God will get the glory. Every journey and experience brings about a lifelong lessons. Yes. Yes. It's good to be graceful when the journey has ended. Yeah. Bitterness weighs you down. Absolutely, man. So for the first, I'm trying to say the first year that we decided not to live together anymore. God, I was bitter, man. You could have just used me in your lemonade and your stuff because I was bitter. Man, I didn't even want to hear his name. I didn't want to see his name pop up on my phone. I did not. No answer. It says no answer. Why did it say no answer from the. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I was very, very bitter. But like I said, you cannot stay there. You cannot stay at bitter. You cannot stay at weeping. You cannot, like he said, TD Jake said, you cannot keep weeping over other things that people, you can't keep weeping over the things that people have done when they have moved on with their lives. They have moved on. And you are there sitting crying over them 15 years later. Oh my God, I can't believe they walked out. I was so good to them, and I can't believe it. No. Mm-mm. I'll give you a few months and you can be bitter like I was, but you can't stay bitter and you cannot stay on your face weeping over, something that was not a part of your destiny. It's like he said today, it's if they leave, they were not meant to be a part of your journey any longer. They were not meant to be a part of your destiny, where you're going. So you just have to you can cry. You can cry. You have that ugly cry. You have the times when you don't comb your hair and you don't put in makeup on, and you have your time. But don't stay there. Like, you have to see the value in them walking away. They're doing you a favor. Like, somebody said to me yesterday, like, man, I wanted it to work out so badly for you too. But probably if you stayed, you would not have bought a house. Straight up. That's what they said to me yesterday. If you had stayed with him, or if you guys had stayed together, hey Tina, hey cuz, you would not have bought a house. And that is true. Like, deadbeat upon dead deadbeat upon deadbeat and deadbeat and deadbeat. That's all. No, I am going to go up yonder. I'm going up yonder. You cannot, you're not going to catch me here sitting down by the road or sitting by the pool, just crying and weeping and waiting on you to come back. But I don't mind waiting. I do mind waiting. I'm not going to wait for you. I'm going to move on. And you're going to see me at the top. That's what you're going to do. I'm sorry. Confidence, ego, whatever you want to call it. I'll see you at the top, right? Jesus, what is wrong with this thing? Man, somebody needs to save this Facebook Live. Because, oh, glory! Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hager, hey! What's poppin'? Man, do you have one of them expensive laptops? Also, yeah, so it's not gonna work. You gotta have one of the expensive ones, because not the cheap ones. Hey, Bianca Madison Amos in the house. Bam, 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 bam. This is confetti. Confetti. Hey, girl, hey. Yes. So Kamisha just wrote, new journey brings growth. Yes, absolutely. And that's why, my friend, so we've known each other since I was 20 years old. And now I am 38. So it's been 18 years since I've known you. Listen, you are not a spring chicken anymore. You are getting old.
It's crazy. I don't feel it though, so.
No, I don't feel old. Only when I sit down too long and I have to get up. That's
I think I definitely look and feel younger now in my 30s than I did when I was like in my early 20s and going through all that I was going through then, and just carrying the weight of all of that, like.
yes, girl. First of all, thank you for joining. Everybody, like I said, this is Bianca. We've known each other from Marvelly days. Back in Marvelly, we went to church together. We were on some interesting adventures together. It was a lifetime ago. So listen, I'm not even going to go there yet. But we've known each other for about 18 years, and we've both been on our own journeys. So I wanted y'all to hear a part of our journey and where we are and what we're doing. This might go a little bit longer than before because we've had like 55 minutes of trying to get on. But y'all bear with us. I so appreciate y'all being on. So tell me, what do you want to say about yourself? Like, what do you want the people in Facebook land to know about you?
Well, as you mentioned, we've known each other a very long time. So I'm originally from Jamaica, born and raised. Living in Canada now. I've been divorced. I've been through it all. I feel like I've lived several lifetimes, but I'm definitely living my best life and flourishing in my 30s and having, I'd say, recovered from my divorce, because it definitely took some time. I'm just here now doing what I want to do career-wise, very happily married, having an experience I never thought possible. So I'm just truly grateful for the restoration and everything that has transpired in my life, really.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And so let's jump right in. Tell me about your first love.
First love. That's like a very interesting question, just because I feel like up until like just before now, like before my new marriage, that like I had a lot of situationships and a lot of a lot of trauma bonding. I don't know if I ever truly was in love before now. But if I was to like pinpoint any relationship or any period of my life, I'd say it was actually a relationship that I had no business being in.
Well,
with someone who was way too old for me. I'll say that. But it was, I would say, it was a relationship that was there for me at a time when I was at my lowest. And as wrong as it was, so says the law.
The law of the Lord and the land.
In many ways, it was like this distraction from a lot of, like painful situations that I was going through in my own life then. Just dealing with the abandonment of my father, just dealing with like abuse at home, just dealing with so much. And I feel like this man was just like the first person that, outside of my mom, that made me feel loved. And it was, that fuzzy feeling inside that we all thought was love when we were, teenagers. And yeah, that was it. It was that fuzzy feeling. And when that fuzzy feeling wore out, like I was the one who ended things because I thought that meant we were no longer in love.
Right.
So I'd say come before now. So what I would say was my first experience.
Okay, nice. But that wasn't the person you married, right?
No.
Okay. Okay.
That was trauma bonding.
So that was that. You did mention that you are divorced. So you did get married at some point in time. So I don't know if you want to share anything about that marriage or how that marriage changed and how you got to divorce.
I'd say that marriage was, as I said, rooted in trauma because we were both from broken homes. And I think, I didn't know what he was thinking, but I know what I was thinking, which was this was an opportunity to create our own home. I was so determined to not have what I saw being reflected in my own household that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and make something better. And I think for him that's what it was about as well. But I mean, things quickly changed in our relationship after we got married, and I'd say that there were, like it became an abusive relationship. And I would say that before that, I did see signs like this was someone who I was scared of before we got married. So I have no idea how I got married to someone who I was, who I had moments where I literally felt like terrified of them. But, so we went into this marriage as two broken people.
Yeah.
And thinking that we can make something whole and wonderful out of that. But the truth is that we were both still hurt and needed healing and needed restoration before we had any business being married to anybody. Right. So it quickly became an abusive situation. And, like I've always owned my part in it. Like I kind of became that person who sometimes did some of the button pushing, because I felt like I wasn't being heard. Yeah. And the only way to be heard was to raise my voice. Yeah. Because when I was trying to get you to see how I was feeling by sharing my feelings, like nothing, I wasn't getting any sort of support. Right. Then. So I had to keep raising my voice, and then I had to, come close in your face. And then, as I said, that just led into, a really abusive situation. And, when it got to near the end, it was a situation where the abuse was taking place in front of our son, who was 1 at the time. And I think for me, that was the wake-up call. This is a situation that I need to get out of. There was one day in particular when my son had just started to, say a few words, and my then husband was hitting me, and my son must have been a year and a half or something like that. I don't remember how old he was exactly. But he was saying, "Daddy, no, Daddy, stop." Yeah. Something along that line. And I was like, this kid is not even 2. Right. This is okay. Yeah. And this will not be my son's life. Yeah. He will not live in an abusive household. Yeah. And that was the catalyst for me, just pulling the plug on that marriage. I pulled the plug, but then I didn't. Yeah. Because as a Christian, I knew, what the Bible said about divorce, and I felt like I needed to try everything before I gave up on this. So even though we were separated for 2-3 years before I even considered filing for divorce. Right. And then we were still married for another 2-3 years. Man. Before the divorce was granted. I think we only got divorced in 2014. And we were separated from my son was born in 2009. I was separated, I think, in 2010. So, wow. Or 2011. So it had been a while. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. You had to go through that.
And you did say something very, very important. Like you were trying to escape a situation that you were in. So you both had your own issues coming into the marriage. And one of the things that I know in the Jamaican culture and like the Black culture in general, like we don't talk about stuff. We don't talk about where we're coming from. Oh, this happened in my household. And so I'm trying to do better. Let's work on doing better together. Like we're not vulnerable. We're not open. And so, like I had said, like when it's in secret and it's shameful, you hide it and it creates more damage. And I think also for me, like that was my thing. I didn't get info. Like we had known each other for a few years, and it wasn't like I know you. We knew each other in passing, but it wasn't like I got to know this person. I got to know his background. I met I met some of his family members, but that was dysfunction too, because I saw the dysfunction there. But rather than heeding, like you said, we saw the red flags, we saw them. But rather than heeding and say, "Oh man, is this the right decision to make?" We were like head on into this space where it would take us a while to recover and move forward. So, how long were you guys actually married?
Okay, so let me think about this. I think I just gave y'all some round numbers because I'm like, was it that long? Was it like it's really all a blur? But as far as I know,
As far as I know.
married in August 2008,
Yes.
right? Our son was born in 2009, July, and I know we were the day when I left was like my son was like a year and a half, almost two. So I guess we fully separated when in 2010 towards about the end of 2010. And then it was like 2 years later that I was like, hey, what's going on? Can we have a conversation on what's going on with this marriage?
Right.
What's our plans, And then, yeah, like when you pretty much said that, his exact words, if God Himself told me to stay in this marriage, I would not.
Girl, so I got that too. He said that to me too. He's like, whatever, being a Christian or whatever, trying to do the right thing. I'm not trying to go there. Whoa.
Listen. It was a privilege for you to be married to me. Like that.
Yeah, dude.
Man, tell me that. But you know what? I humbled myself because that I never wanted to be the one to just pull the plug.
Right.
I wanted to see if we were able to individually work on ourselves because during those 2 years I don't know what he was doing. The first year I was getting buck wild and rebelling against God. But second year, I went to therapy, okay? So I had like 1 year of like, I'm done with God.
Free rolling.
And then the second year, that's when I was like, okay, Bianca, like what you're doing, the path you're going down, it's only going to lead to destruction and you need to get it together. And I went to therapy and all of that. So when I had that conversation with him, like, hey, what are we doing here? Like I was coming from a genuine place of, I feel like I have done my work.
Right.
What have you been doing the last 2 years? And what is our plan? And when he said that, I felt this weight being lifted off of me as if I was now free.
Yeah.
To just go and without the guilt and shame of, divorce and all of that.
Right.
Like, for some reason, like after that, I was like, you know what? It's whatever.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly not the person for me, and I put in my paperwork. But those 2 years of waiting for that paperwork to come through was one. It was super duper stressful because it just seems like I could never catch a break from the court. And then the second part of it was just dealing with people's opinions. So, like, I remember someone told me, and they make this in the best way possible, like, you need to forgive yourself for your divorce. Because God forgives you. And I was like,
thank you, bye.
Things of like feeling like, did I do something wrong? Going back and forth and, like all of that. But in 2014, we definitely just like, like I had those paperwork, we were done, and I was just free, completely free. And there is nothing like it.
Yeah.
Of like having to be tied to someone who is just not the person for you, and then finally getting that freedom. So I was finally able to like take my life back, which included migrating and starting a brand new career and, becoming like a whole different person.
I love it.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, I am so happy that you did not stay stuck. So, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like when we talk and when we say we're divorced and we feel good, that somehow we are not, honoring the covenant that God put in place, or we're trivializing stuff. But you said it, and I was there as well. We did our work, and we got to a place where we saw that something in us was not working right. We went to therapy, we did our work, and we went back to that person and say, hey, man, what are we doing? Are we going to keep trying? What are we doing? And they have chosen, no, nah, bro, this is not what, nah, bro, I don't want to be here anymore. And so I was saying it while you were trying to get on, like, they're actually doing us a favor. Like, I'm sure that the first few years or a couple of years were not easy for you. Like, you had your moments where you doubted, were you making the right decision? Like, God says marriage is forever. So how is it I am breaking this or it seems like I am breaking this covenant? So I don't know. This is, this wasn't planned, but tell me about the struggle that you experienced those whatever months, years, whatever, of being in that place of just mourning for what was not anymore.
I was definitely in mourning. That's a great word that you use, because nobody gets married to get divorced. Nobody walks into a marriage thinking that this is going to end in divorce.
Yay, divorce! Here I come. No.
So even though at the time I wasn't aware of all of the reasons why I was jumping into this marriage, I went into it with good intentions, not realizing all issues that I still had to work out. So when it ended, I was definitely mourning for it, because I had high hope for us. Like, I thought like we were gonna be that, that power couple in ministry, because at a time like that's what I wanted to do with my life. So I was like, we're gonna be, and I used to go on these missions, like church like missionary dog. I hopes for us. So for me, it was shocking the turn our marriage took, because I felt like, as Christian as we were, and especially because we waited until marriage to have sex.
Look at God.
I felt like I had done everything wrong I felt like I had done everything right to deserve a good marriage. If that makes sense.
You will need both, girl. You will need both.
It was very shocking. So when it ended, I immediately went to, people at church, because I was always this person where, because a lot of my family members weren't saved, I never really valued their opinion. And I'm being completely honest.
Yes.
Like, you're a Christian, you can't tell me anything about anything.
Right.
So I went to people at church, and I remember someone who I had shared with about the abuse that was going on, and, they pretty much trivialized it. Like, like, oh, he doesn't mean it. Oh, God will fix it. I got, he just needs to be delivered. Like, I got all sorts of stuff that didn't feel practical. And it's not like I don't believe in God being able to deliver people, because of course I do.
Right.
It's not like I don't believe that people can make mistakes and like change, and it wasn't that. It was like there was nothing that felt like help.
Yeah.
Like real help.
Yeah.
And because of that, and because of the stares that come now, and the people talking and all of that, I just didn't feel like the church was a safe place for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Anymore. Yeah. And it's not like anyone did anything intentional. I don't have any bad feelings towards anyone. Let me put that out there. But I just didn't feel supported in my divorce. Yes. I felt like I had a scarlet letter on me, and I felt like I needed to get out of there.
Yeah.
So for me, like, that's when I kind of stopped going to church. And then I'd always been a good girl. Like, I'd always been the one who, like, I lived at church.
I can testify. Yeah, that's true.
Going on at church, I was always there. I was never that girl that was ever in a club, like, ever. I never went to a party. I never drank alcohol. I never did anything. And for some reason, like, all of those things, by the way, I didn't share earlier. I got married at 19. So this one, I was super young too. I never done any of that. And so, like, in that year post-divorce, I was like, I'm gonna live it out. Went to my first club where I fell asleep. That wasn't for me. Fell asleep at 10 p.m. because I was also a single mom.
Wow.
Went to a couple of parties in short skirts.
Look at you.
Trying to do figures, trying to, be a normal 20-year-old, but. And then it just got, like, I always ended up just feeling empty and emptier and sadder and sadder. So it just wasn't helping. But those were dark years. I also had this thing of just, like, bouncing from relationships to relationships. I don't know if I was trying to prove that I wasn't the one who was the bad, like that.
Yeah.
The problem, not me. So anyone who was like, hey, girl, hey, I was like,
hey. Thirsty.
3-month relationships, just trying to, like, prove that all these people want me and I'm super fabulous and all of that. But that quickly got old.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, there was still that emptiness, there was still that pain. But then there was also dealing with the fallout of my divorce. Because if I thought this dude was bad when we were married, he was even worse as a co-parent.
Oh, Jesus. Talk the stuff, girl. Talk the stuff. Jump on in.
It was like there was no support, there was no help. He actually used words like I used for baby to trap him. And I'm like, I am the one that's baking the bread in this house. Like, you don't trap people who can't.
You don't trap somebody who don't have a job, though.
Like, I am the one who's, like, earning, like, X amount, and you're like, you know what I mean? I wasn't to make him feel smart. It's trying to say that I'm good.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You trapped me in this marriage with this baby.
Yeah, so it was like, how do you trap your husband? But anyway, but anyway, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with threats.
Ooh.
And I remember him, like, because the only thing he could ever do to me was to try to put me down and to try to make me scared of him. And when I kind of said, you know what, we're done, and I'm pushing you out because, one, this is my place that I'm paying rent for, because at this time I was the one that was paying.
Yes.
I was the one that was doing everything. And then he was like, do things like, he sent people to my house, like sent his brother to my house that he's come for his son's things. I'm like, what thing? Everything inside here is stuff that I bought. So no, you will not. This is after he tried to. I don't use the word. I'm not going to use the word kidnap. What word are you looking for? He to picked up my son and said I was never seeing him again. And then he's gonna send his brother for Pampers.
Jesus,
and
take
why?
the wheel.
And as scared as I was for my son, and as horrible as that situation was, you are not getting a change of clothes out of my house that I bought. No, you are not getting diapers. You are not getting wipes. Since you want to be a father now, go and be a father and get some Pampers and some wipes because you have no idea what these things cost.
Right.
So it was a horrible situation. It was financial hell as well because one, we all know what the system is like in Jamaica.
Yeah.
With getting child support.
Yeah.
And I had to wait so long for my court date, right? And when we did go to court, the court awarded me 10,000 Jamaican dollars a month, right?
Have you gotten it yet?
I've seen $5,000 out of that $10,000. I swear.
Preach.
$50 Canadian.
You preaching now. You preaching now.
Son, who is 12 years old now, he's gonna be 13. Since he was one, and he's gonna be 13 right now. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a horrible situation. There was this other time, and I can spill my tea because I'm telling the truth.
And you're healed.
I need to bottle things up. I need to hide things because I don't need to protect anyone, especially when I'm speaking my truth.
Right.
There was a time when I was so desperate, even after I promised myself I wasn't going to ask him for money, that I asked him in front of his son. We were in my car, and my son was in the back, and I said to him, his daycare fees are due.
Yeah.
And I have no money, and I'm been months behind, and I need help. You haven't helped with anything else. What can you do? And his exact words, what would you do if I was dead? And my exact words, oh, so that's where we're at. So from now on, I will treat you like you are dead. And that is exactly what I have done until this very day.
Man.
And we're good. We had some struggles.
Yeah.
We had some struggles. There was some times where I didn't have Pampers. I was telling my friend the other day that I would hope that my son didn't pee.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would hope that he didn't poo, so I didn't have to change that diaper.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there were those situations.
Oh yeah.
But God brought me through all of that because I don't even think I could have I don't know how I survived all of that, but we survived and we are here.
Oh
yeah. We are living and thriving, and I'm just restored, and I have no hard feelings either. It's kind of like I still wish you so much. Like I wish you all the best, and more than anything else, I wish for you to, I don't know, have a relationship with your child.
Find Jesus. Find Jesus. Hope you find. And man, I am so proud of you. Like you have been doing the work, and you have been coming out, and you have gotten to a very, very nice place. Like so many of the things you said resonated with me because I was there too. Like I did the right things. I got premarital counseling, no sex before marriage. We did the right steps. Like we married Christian guys. We went the correct route. So there are no guarantees. I feel like there are no guarantees. If somebody wants to make a relationship work, both people are going to put the work in. Both people are going to do what it takes for them to get to a place, like you said, that power couple. And that's what I had in mind. Like, oh my gosh, I'm married. I was married now. I was married. And, so much prestige. Yes, I'm married. Of course, I'm Mrs. Yes. And we're going to go these places, we're going to do these things, and your life is just going to be a testimony. Mm, no. And so, even if you want it to work and the other person does not, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
What
Sure.
are you going to do? And so I heard you touched on it, like your divorce experience, what it was like for you to have that dad who is not interested in being a part of the child's life. You going to the extreme and the other person not, meeting you halfway. Like you said, you were trying to keep out of the courts. Girl, court was the most shameful thing for me. Like I felt so, I don't think I've ever felt so humiliated as having to be in a courtroom trying to get child support from somebody I'm married to. Because we were separated too. And I'm like, dude, I am out here struggling to take care of this child. I'm making like $100 a week or whatever, and or no, $100 a month, a month. And this dude is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Like somebody asked him, "Hey, are you giving her anything for the child?" And he said, "Oh, the courts didn't tell me any. They didn't give me an amount to pay that I should pay." The court didn't tell. And girl, $100 a month. I had to get two credit cards, and I got these two credit, like some big credit cards, and I had to max these out like every single month and keep making payments. Like sometimes we wouldn't. You talked about being a single mom. I'm a single mom. Like sometimes in order to make sure that we have enough food for the week or for a couple days, I'd like go to Walmart. They have this huge tray of fried chicken and it's like $4. And so I know if I bought that, that would have us or keep us for like 3 days or whatever. So people don't know the struggle that you've been through, especially because you're not vocal, like, oh, he's a low down dirty dog. I ain't gonna do that. He gonna show himself. He's gonna show who he is himself. He's gonna show everybody what kind of person he is by his actions. And so I hear you saying like he was not interested in being a part of this little baby's life. And I have experienced that. Like, I've gone to the extreme. Like, I've given my son a phone, like, hey, this is your phone. They can call you anytime. So they don't have to deal with this to say, oh, I didn't want to call her. I didn't want to call her phone. No, you don't have to call my phone. This is his phone. This is his number. And if it rings once a month, girl, that's a lot. If it rings once a month, that's a lot. But I am so proud of you. Like, you have come such a long way with your son. You said your son is 13 and he's doing so well. Tell us about Alex. Tell us about your son.
Oh my God, Alex is amazing. Like, so mature. One. And you know what? Like, for a lot of his childhood, I'm sad to say, like, he was like probably the closest person to me. Like,
Adventure buddies.
we ended up why I'm crying, but he's the one that was drying some tears.
Yes, I've been there, girl.
But was younger, and I don't know, I have this very special part in my heart for him just because, of everything that I witnessed him go through and everything that, especially in that early part of his life, that I feel like he missed out on. And I felt responsible because I felt like I was the one who chose his daddy, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. I did. Yep.
So, like the times when I had to watch him sit at the gates and wait because he was told someone was going to come and pick him up, who never bothered to show up.
Right.
Or when he like went through these phases where he would make up stories about his father.
Yeah.
That I would overhear him telling his friends,
Right.
and I knew that was trauma because you're making up a story about a man that isn't really there.
Right.
You know, and that was hard. But I always knew that if I did my very best, that at someday it might just be enough.
Yes.
And then so I continued to do my very best, continued to parent as best as I could as a single mom. And now at 12 years old, like Alex is he is the sweetest, just like super kind to everyone. He's the person that like won't let me walk by homeless people on the street without giving money. He's like, no, you can't step on the bug because like you're killing animals. Like he's like that guy.
Yeah.
And he's also that super cool kid that everybody wants to be friends with. But then he's like the sweetest guy to everyone.
Right.
He's like the exact human being that I would have wanted him to be.
Right.
And he's also a budding actor and doing so well.
Woohoo!
And making himself some money.
Wow.
And, because he's got a national spot running right now all over Canada. Awesome. He has a documentary that he's in that's coming out on the History Channel next month.
I like it.
My son is a big deal. And I did it with the support of my family and friends. And God.
Yeah.
And he's at this point in his life where not having a father, but he does have a father, he has my husband, but I mean like he doesn't even like he's not bothered by the fact that his father isn't around. Like sometimes I had to be the one to force him to say, hey, do you want to reach out to
right you want to call?
You want to call? Like,
no.
Let's stop doing that because I feel like he's old enough to make that decision. I used to do that when he was like 7, 8, 9. The other day he received a message saying, this is 6 months that he hadn't heard anything. 6 whole months. The last time he was messaged was for his birthday in July. And the message says something like, hey, I'm sorry I've been so distant and busy. But I love you and your world or something like that. And Alex was like, okay. Sometimes he asks me, like, how do I respond to this? Because he doesn't know what to say. Because it's like, this dude, like, that's exactly what he said. This is how he refers to this man. And I try to say, like, don't say that.
Yeah.
Like, this dude, is he for real?
This dude.
But yeah, so that's the summary of how Alex is.
Man.
He's doing great and I'm super proud of him. And I'm super sad for the person that doesn't get to experience this because I'm telling you, like, just watching him grow up and flourish into this amazing human being has been one of the most remarkable experiences of my life.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, I just feel sorry for for those who don't get to, experience this. But Alex also has a dash, so he's good.
I don't feel sorry for them. I don't. I'm just being bad. So I did hear you talk about your husband. So tell us, how did you get the courage to try again? How?
It was after a lot of trial and error. As I said, I went through that crazy year after my ex and I got separated. But after I moved to Canada, like, I don't know, I got this sense that I could, rebuild my life, rebuild myself, like change who I was. Nobody here knew me. Nobody here knew where I had been or what I had experienced. And it almost freed me a little bit because I wasn't dealing with some of the stuff that I was dealing with back home. But I was still in a very tough situation here. So it wasn't all roses.
Yeah.
But I went through this period where I was in this dark hole where I felt like, what's happening? Like, why am I like in this dark place and I can't seem to get out? It was like after another broken relationship and I'm like, what's happening? And I just determined at my lowest point, it's either I'm gonna die here or I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm going to never end up here again. Like I had hit rock bottom before, but this rock bottom experience was one where I was like, I need to take stock of my life in all areas because I'm never coming back here. Never. And one of those areas was my relationships, because I realized that I had this habit of just like ending up in these broken situations with men who just were not good for me. They weren't bad men, they were just not for me. And I remember getting to this place where like, I'm gonna make a list. I don't know if I heard that somewhere or it just came to me, but I'm like, I'm gonna make a list of everything that I want in a person. It wasn't anything superficial. It wasn't he's, tall, dark, and handsome or anything like that. It was like all the values that I needed this person to have, from their spiritual background to their family relationships. And I'm not knocking anyone who comes from like a broken, home situation, not growing up with two parents or anything like that. But that's all I've experienced in my relationship. Right.
You're breaking up. Okay, there you are.
Sorry, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dealing with a lot of men who had father issues.
Yeah.
Either they were absent, or they just weren't good fathers, or they were abusive fathers, or there was this pattern. And I was like, you know what? Whoever I marry, again, needs to be someone that grew up with two parents, loving relationship, and you know what, like, I just wasn't going to be settling for less than that.
Yeah.
And I had people coming who didn't meet some of the things that were on my list. And there were times when I felt like, oh, he's sweet, maybe I should give him a try because he's a great guy. But then I always came back to this list, like I was so serious about it.
Yeah.
Like I always came back to say, one of my core things is missing, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And so that was really kind of it. Also, Iyanla Vanzant, I think. I know people have a lot of different things to say about her, but I feel like when I was in my dark place, hearing her story really helped me.
Yeah.
I read her book, Peace from Broken Pieces, and that really helped me because some of the loneliness, it helps me to deal with my loneliness. Because some of the loneliness I felt when I was in Jamaica, post-divorce, just hearing her story, someone else was being real about where they had been and their trauma that they had suffered.
Right.
Kind of made me feel less alone in my situation.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And so that was it. And a couple months later, I met my now husband on Facebook. It was totally random, totally godsend. Like I have no tips on how to meet anybody. So random. It was me meeting a guy from Jamaica who also lives in Canada, who thought he knew me because we had mutual friends, and I thought I knew him because we had mutual friends.
Yeah.
We started chatting and realized we didn't know each other, but we liked each other's company.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had made as a decision on my list is that I wasn't going to rush in any relationships with anyone.
Right.
I spent too much time like just jumping into, hey, we're committed, rather than, hey, we're friends, just in a friendship. So that was important to me in this situation. And I told him, hey, I'm not looking for anything. Like, can we be friends? And he was like, of course.
Wow.
And he was that guy that never pushed me into anything. We were like pen pals because even though I was in Canada as well, I lived in a different city. And we were just like talking on the phone every day as friends, supporting each other, him knowing everything I'm going through, me knowing everything he's going through. And we met 6 months after meeting. So we met in person 6 months after meeting on Facebook. And that was the night I knew. Like I didn't have to be around him long to know that this was the man I was going to marry.
Yeah.
Just the simple things. Just the very fact that this dude was like opening doors and putting out chairs
Yeah.
picking up the pain, which for many women probably seems like, oh, well, that's normal. That's what men should do. But I never experienced it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was just this great guy who wore his heart on his sleeve, and I could just tell he was this genuine good person. And I think what sealed the deal for me is when I met his family. Because those in-laws can be tricky. His family, man, just got this vibe from them. Like, they're like so amazed, and they haven't changed a beat since I've met them. Like, they were just as sweet and wonderful on day one.
Wow.
And they're even more so today. His brother is my brother. His sister is his sister. His mom is my mom. His dad is my dad.
Wow.
Like, they are, I'm going to cry just talking about them.
Aww.
Oh my God. They're just amazing. And they welcomed me and they welcomed Alex. Like, these grandparents have done more for Alex than he doesn't even know his other grandparents, his father's parents.
Yeah.
Like, they've supported everything. They were there for everything. They show up for every member of their family. And it's just been amazing. And my husband is just the most wonderful human being. I hope I will someday be like him. Because he's just so patient. He's just so patient and just so loving and so kind and goes above and beyond for everyone and just wants to make sure that we're happy and supported. And that's exactly how his father is. So I can definitely see where he gets it from. But it's just a wonderful life, one that I never for a moment thought that I was going to ever get. And for one that for a long time I felt like I didn't deserve. Because now that I'm looking back, a lot of these relationships that I ended up in that weren't great. Where a lot of times I knew that these people were people who I wanted to be with. But somehow I felt like I didn't deserve what my friend would call them a high quality man. I think something like that, not high quality, there's a term for it. Like that. I was like, oh my God, why I can't remember. She has this term that she uses. Like she would say the high value man or something like that. And she would always say these high value men are like well in demand, you know?
Oh yeah.
Not everyone can get one.
Yeah.
I remember I once dated someone who she would have considered a high value man. And I remember that man made me feel so bad for being divorced. He literally told me, because he was single and had some business and had like 2 houses.
Right.
And, you know, I was like a struggling single
mom.
Put gas in my car. And we dated for a bit. And I remember one time he said to me, oh, you know, well, I think I was asking him about like, you know, like where's this relationship going? And he was saying something along the lines of like, well, he decides that because I'm the one who's coming with all the baggage. So, you know, I kind of messed with and this was like post-divorce, like I was doing this period as well. So I think that kind of messed me up a little bit, where I felt like, you know, a man who is not divorced, who, you know, doesn't have any kids.
Right.
I almost felt like someone like that wouldn't want me.
Right.
I think I avoided those relationships, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, did like the guys who already had kids, and, you know, like brought a lot of the baby mama drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. And my husband was like one of those high value men.
Yeah.
You know, like educated, you know, has a good job, you know, sweetest guy from, you know, the good family.
Yeah.
Down the street.
Man.
You know, like he grew up like not how I grew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in a different class system than
that is awesome.
As far as Jamaican, you know, class system goes. So but I never ever felt like he looked down on me for anything that I had experienced. Like I could be honest about everything that I had been through. And I'll share this little last part because I feel like I've been blabbering a lot.
No. This is good.
Remember when my son asked him to be his father?
Aww.
A conversation that me and my son had. He came into changed my son's life when my son was 5. And one day, we were in a parking lot somewhere, and he had gone to pay for gas, and my son asked me, 5 years old, Mom, can I ask Steven to be my dad?
Aww.
And I was like, well, one, I was scared because he was just my boyfriend. I was like, but we had been together long enough where I felt like, you know what, go for it, Alex. And Steven was so happy to be his dad, and has been the greatest dad ever. The dad who coaches his son's basketball. The dad who is there for everything. The dad who gives the best advice. The dad who apologizes when he's wrong. The dad, like, just teaching us all something. And he is, just an amazing father and husband, and so supportive.
I love that.
So I'm grateful, and I'd say I'm a great wife too. Like,
you go, girl. You put that thing out there.
Because guess what? I feel like I'd always been this person. I'd always been this giver, just wanting someone that we could grow together.
Yeah.
But what I always had were a lot of takers, and people who we weren't going in the same direction.
Right.
And for once in my life, we are going in the same direction. And we are people who understand that marriage is not just about how I feel today.
Right.
It's not just about the good times. It's about when we've been in the trenches together. We've been in the bad apartment together, that was falling apart. We've been in the, we don't have no money. He got injured one time, and he was out of work for over a year. And we were struggling. We've been there together. We've also been on the mountaintop together.
That's awesome.
And that has showed me that we can go through anything.
I love it.
Together. So
I love it. Yes, the redemption. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I am scared to death of even thinking of the prospect of starting over. That's why I'm like, I'll just, be right here and continue to do the work until, whatever happens. But I love your journey. I love that it's like you've come full circle. You've gone through what you had to go through to get your healing and be at this awesome place. So I am so happy for you. I'm very happy for you. And thank you again for sharing. Are you crying? Girl, you know.
When I don't often think about where I've been, like, in so much detail, so it's been interesting, just like recapping all of that and remembering where I've been and where I am now. And all I can say is, well, God, I've always been who I am right now, just wanting to write and have this wonderful life and break some cycles, and I'm finally there and just wanting this for everybody too.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like, I want all my friends to find a relationship like this. I want all of them to, because I just feel like so many times we feel like it's not possible for us, especially when we've had, like certain levels of brokenness and all of that. But it is totally possible.
Thank you so much, man. So Janet and Kamisha, so Janet is saying, I am proud of you both. And Kamisha is saying, God is so amazing. Our trajectory is designed by him. Absolutely. And we should just trust his leading and the path that he leads us. Like, we said it, like, nobody wants to get married to get divorced. But at the end of the day, you do not have to stay there. You do not have to stay in the trenches. You do not have to stay in that dark place. You do not have to stay broke, because you got a job now, girl. You got that job and you making that money. Look at God. You do not have to stay broke. busted and disgusted, you can move on. You can move forward and you can move on and move into your healing place. So thank y'all for joining. Man, this was a little bit long and we had the technical difficulties, but she gonna get an expensive computer, and we gonna both learn how to do this Facebook thing because we are both learning. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, Kamisha. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you, B.
Bye.
We'll talk. Bye bye.